Feel me?
You know?
DJ NV, join the car. Angel
A little
E.
bit, you dig?
Then we just want to introduce both of you.
I go by SammyOffTheWall. You know, it's my name.
I go by Jahbody, Jahbody. You feel me? And yeah, go bro.
All right. What is it that you guys do? Tell the audience what you guys be doing.
You know, we make music. Been making music for a while. But I view myself as an artist. I wouldn't just say a rapper. I like to say I'm an artist.
Yeah,
So
I'm on the same type of time. I create art. You feel me? You know what I mean? Moments in time. You feel me? That's really going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't keep you in one box.
Nah, hell no.
That's what's up.
yeah. So
Why is it that you guys like to do that? What draws you to the arts?
Honestly, it's just like something that's always been a part of my life. Like my earliest memories just involved music, and like my family was just very music oriented and shit like that. You feel me?
Always had like a record or something playing in the house.
Yeah. A lot of vinyl and shit like that. But honestly, my first memory was like, it's so funny. It was like I was there like 2, dancing around the crib in like diapers and shit like that.
Yeah.
And my aunt, she played the Kids Bop version of Hey Ya. Okay, shit, bro. And I was going crazy to that shit. I think we have it on VHS too. Yeah, I mean, niggas going crazy to that shit.
So like, we
Shout out
grew up
to
in a
Kid.
unique era where it's like the first from 2000, especially for us two,
Yeah.
to like the 2003 to 4 eras, where it's like, it's not that we didn't have CDs and whatnot. It's like we literally watched it all changed. We had CDs.
No cap.
We played with cassettes
No cap.
because they were around, and some cars had them.
Yeah,
Either your
definitely.
grandfather, grandma,
Definitely.
either maybe a pops had one like that, and it
Right.
was just that's how it was. But like we saw all that change to the iPhone Nanos, the
Yeah.
little
the
the
little
shuffles,
iPod
you know?
and shit.
Yeah,
bro.
and then we
Yeah.
got the touchscreens, and it's
third generation,
Bro,
fourth generation
yeah.
iPods and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now we've been like conditioned just to think. People think that we have no idea what that shit is. It's like, no, we saw the light bulb get invented.
Nah,
dude.
in real time. In real time.
Seriously.
I don't know, I feel like, especially, like, I say from, like, 2000, and I'll give it to even some, like, 2003 kids, you feel me? Like, up in that range, I feel like we really saw a lot of shit change. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the introduction of technology. So it was like our parents got their first like BlackBerry, and then we get their old flip phone to fuck around with type of thing. And then it was like
Yeah.
I got a CD player as a kid. You know what I mean? I had my own Walkman. It was like 7 years old,
You got a Walkman?
but it was like
That's
I got CDs for Christmas, so it was like that. And then the next year it was like, all right, you get a little mini iPod thing. So it was like slowly we got introduced to technology through music. For us, you know what I mean? Other people that were in college, they get introduced by email and all that
No
stuff.
doubt,
But like
yeah.
us being kids, it was like, yo, listen to music on the things or play a game on the computer, that type of
Yes,
thing.
indeed.
But it wasn't also like being a kid, you don't know, open up extra tabs on the thing. So you just play a game and you got your AirPod, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Your headphones over there. So it's
But to that, all that coming out while we were kids, like look at the kids now. Like their parents, like my aunt is always trying to tell my little cousin, you know, we don't have service. You can't make that call right now. And he goes, yes, I can. And he pops it in and he calls whoever the fuck he wants. And the reason that he can do that is because we got to master it all.
No,
Right.
real time.
We had the
Teach
time to do it.
Yeah.
master and
Yeah.
teach it, pass it down. No, literally like the first iPod that we had, it was literally like the size of a Tic Tac.
I could bring it. It's the
Right, we have that.
it's
It's a little
it's a sand disc.
sand.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I remember
The
most.
little
That's
sand.
crazy.
We had like
A little
probably like I
Wow.
think there's like over like 200,
That's like the
300
OG one.
songs.
right?
Yeah.
OG, like that was we were down in Maryland still. I remember on Washington Street. That's how you know we were like little
Young
kids.
boys.
Right? Like no higher than second grade probably. We probably got that when I was like the first grade. So not yet. That little thing, and then turn into like getting the first little Apple iPod, and then like eventually getting fucking little type of phone that I have, a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
indestructible one?
Nah, it was like
Damn near, though.
They all
It
are,
was like
bro.
the
It's
new
that
technology.
brand.
You know a phone I have,
Nah, it
bro?
was the ones where it would fall and the whole battery would slide out.
Yeah, but
I
that was
had a
fine.
battery still, but I had a touchscreen, so it was cool.
The phone I had was a little bit later than that, bro. Yo, it was like a Sony PlayStation phone where you flip it
Oh.
up.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a- it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
PlayStation
That's how that-
controller. I used to be literal that
Oh,
shit. Crash
shit.
Bandicoot.
Yeah,
all
I
that
know
bullshit.
exactly
I was
what you're
going
talking
ham on that shit, bro. That shit.
That's
yeah.
so funny.
My favorite was the BlackBerry, just because you got Brick Breaker. Bro,
Yo,
that
Brick
was-
Breaker was hard.
I
bro.
always said, remember when like the iPhone had the home button?
Yeah.
If it had like instead of the button, it was a
bowl.
I would have fucked with that. I would have fucked with that
I
heavy.
need to take notes, man.
Yeah, they should have, but
Yeah.
now they scan in my face. They send
The
a
only
picture
buttons
of
on
the
these
Chinese
phones are
and
on
all
the
that
side.
stuff.
You know
No
what I
cap.
mean? There's only
No cap.
buttons on the side. Which is
Someone's
kinda
gonna be
crazy.
no buttons, be like phone on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Phone on.
That clap shit with the lights.
Right.
But what would, back to topic here, what would you guys say you guys are each aiming for, like in music and art? Like what's the height? Like what does success look like when you guys picture and dream about it?
Like you want to sign to a record label? I'm sure that's not in either of your pictures or wants. But in a sense of that, like
Yeah,
where
you
do
want
you
to
guys
build a
aim?
record label?
Honestly, I'm at a point where like me personally, like I really don't see a zenith. You feel me? Like I don't know, just seeing like, cause we are children of hip hop and we've seen this shit evolve so much and how like monumental it really is and can be and just how far you can go in this shit. Like I don't know, bro. I feel like you shouldn't strive for anything less than the best. You feel me? Like I don't know. I look at like just the big homies like Drake and all these niggas. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like these niggas are really cemented in history. Kanye, even though he's wilding right now, you can't deny the fact that that nigga is
He's that guy
That
when it
music
comes
was
to
great.
You know what I
musical
mean?
production.
The music-
you can't hide that from him.
Bro, the music, his passion, just like
What he can do with a sample?
his perspective, just like, you know what I mean? Like, a nigga that I really look at, to be honest, is a nigga like LeBron or some shit. Because LeBron, bro, like, I feel like that nigga won at, like, life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that nigga has the career success. That nigga has his family intact. Like, not a lot of niggas can't make that happen.
And he has
Like,
his family doing well.
You know what I mean?
Kick
And,
that
like,
NIL deal.
just like his investments and his business acumen, all these different things, you feel me? Personally, I feel like there's no zenith, but like what I want to do for other people and shit like that, obviously once you get in positions, you get to take care of people. And, you know, you come up, you see your people struggle and shit like that. So
Right.
of course you want to, you know what I mean, be
Yep.
able to make those problems go away. But then also just like, we live in an age where like there's a lot of creatives out here, you feel me? And these big corporations and shit like that really take advantage of that shit.
Oh yeah.
1000%.
And I feel like as niggas all continue to grow in their own right and we all continue to like come together and use each other as like resources and shit like that, you know what I mean? And just really become like a team type shit. You putting other niggas on to put other people in position to, you know what I mean?
Right.
To prosper and go
Succeed.
forward. And especially in the 845, bro. Like I really feel like the 845, like growing up, there was a lot of pressure for niggas to play sports here and shit like that. But I genuinely feel like, bro, like especially Nyack, bro, like
In like a
Nyack
dying
will be remembered,
sport community too.
bro, in real
So
time.
much
Nyack will be
music.
remembered as like just an artist town,
full
very
creative
town.
Bro,
You feel me?
for
So many spectrums
for
of art.
a school district that has so many creative minds, like, and we have so many athletes, don't get me wrong,
There's a bunch.
but I could name so many athletes that could do phenomenal cartoon work. Harold Downing,
Yeah.
bro, Percy's a decent artist too.
Yeah.
He's got a decent pen. I haven't seen Dante, but I've seen Percy in art class. He can fucking lay it down pretty well.
That should surprise me. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, the fact that our athletes are so creative. Look at
Yeah.
Sophie.
We still have D1 athletes though. Look at
No,
Aldrich
real
and Nazir. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Those
That's
two.
what I'm
young.
saying.
So,
Yeah.
we're
But don't doubt
heavy
their creative
Exactly.
sides either. You know what I mean?
Or their
Because that's
books.
something that you
Nas,
see.
Nas fucks with the music. Shout out Nas.
Nah, he really does.
That-
He
Nas
really
be
That's what I'm
tattooing.
saying. Like you see athletes, especially, they get every athlete's got to build their brand. But
Yeah.
like a lot of these athletes will sign, and then it's like, well, you're not being creative with your brand. You're letting some,
company do it.
white
Yeah.
businessman do it
Yeah.
because he's like, well, I ran the analytics, and this will make you the best.
Yeah.
And it's like, that might work for a little bit, but are you gonna be
Yeah.
remembered? No, and not necessarily remembered. Are you gonna make an impact? Are you
Real
gonna
time.
leave something
time.
that was like, yo, I got to do that?
Yeah. You know something else? Because that's my mindset, but I also realize that like that's not everyone's goal. At the end of the, like to be like
That's true.
Remember, like some people want to do it
For now.
Quick and
for now.
quick.
You know what I mean? Just if they finances right, you feel me? For it to be like a gateway into what they really want to do. So it really just
Yeah.
depends on what your end game is.
Because
you
even
feel me?
think about like a social media person where it's like that might not even be their end game. They want to build a multimedia company where they help other people, but it's like
Right.
they got their step in first before anybody they know.
Exactly.
So they're like, you know what? I got to rock with this. I got to do YouTube. I got to do this until I have the ability to put other people on to do what I want to do. In a sense of, say somebody wants to be a video production person.
Yeah.
They want to put together movies or shows, but right now they got to put together their shows and their skits and continue to be known. So in that sense, so it's like
acquire the platform and
they don't want to be remembered for this. This stuff is for now to build their person,
Exactly.
to build their personal brand,
Exactly.
and then later they'll get into what they want to leave behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Not everybody wants to leave things behind in a sense. It's
Exactly.
just like, this is what I have now. This is what I need to do. this is what I can only work with. Fuck it, let's rock with it now. I could see myself doing this to leave behind later, but this is for now.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
You're essentially just playing chess, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
And it's,
you gotta make it
because it's like my passion is in clothing, so I got to do this other stuff where I have the ability to get to that spot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? To get those resources, get those connections. So in a sense of music, where do you guys? Would you want to leave? Would you want to build a career where you leave behind a big catalog?
Yes.
That leaves money for your family,
Yes.
or in a sense of like everything that you're putting out now, right? Is like you guys have full ownership of that. You guys are working with your friends to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to pay people,
Mm-hmm.
so you guys are already making the right steps. So in a sense of, is this where you see yourself going forward? Like, I'm just gonna insource everything. I'm gonna own everything. So later it's cemented legacy where it's
I feel like, I mean, I was gonna say this earlier. Everything is just laying your foundation. Shout out the Foundation EP. Little promo in there, but not like where I see myself. Like, you can attest to this, being my older brother and seeing my whole life through like a better, clear view of like from the outside perspective. Music's been my life, whether it was playing the drums at 2 or 3 years old, to trying to perform in the living room for family, or then writing poetry in 4th grade when it was a segment in English class, and then you're like, oh, my grandma's a great poet, and then you start going into that, and then you learn what hip-hop is really, and then you start doing that. It's like my foundation's been my whole life, so it's like to say or to try and make my life's path be anything other than music, it
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, or like I was watching something the other day, somebody said this about that, but it would be selfish of them to not take that opportunity.
Right.
And my opportunity is doing music. As long as you're going to take my vocal cords, I'll start being an even better producer, or I'll really get into engineering or something like that.
Right, or even just storytelling outside of music.
Right, or I'll just songwrite.
Start writing, if I'm saying even writing short films, because you could portray and put a soundtrack over a short film.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And then just lay, just, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can just lay a whole soundtrack, and then you're like the verses are laid out through the script in a sense of where you have a communication between characters. In a sense, you're getting your bars out, you're getting your shit off your chest, but it's not through a song no more. You know what I mean? Because you've been writing as long as I can remember. He's always had a little notebook.
Yeah.
It wasn't always songs, but how could this 8-year-old write a story? What are you writing a story about? I don't know what to write about.
Yeah, not that.
You know what I mean?
I was used to really trying to write books or something.
Yeah, so I'm sure we had notebooks in the house where it's like you could just find a story and it's like, I can actually turn this into a song, or vice versa. You have a song where it's like, you know what? This is something that everybody needs to hear. Maybe not everybody listens to rap, so I'm gonna put in something else. Yeah. But that's where you guys are doing well. So it's like you tell stories through the stuff. And that's why you're not just rappers, you're artists, because you can portray in any kind of.
And like that part of artistry is like what I want to indulge in. Like, you obviously know a lot about like doing with portraying characters and personas. Like that's like I want to be able to going to be able to have that, and like this upcoming year, like that's what it's like eager for, to be able to show like, all right, like you've heard me rap, you've heard that or whatever, but it's like to be able to give you more than just who I am, to be able to step into someone else's point of view, a made up construct of somebody's mindset or whatever, something that they're going through. May not be what I'm talking about. It's not, oh, I'm just out here like talking about a life that I don't live. It's like, oh, I'm telling you a story about a life that somebody does live.
Right.
And this will adapt to more people than just my own life. Is 20 years old. I haven't life is really just beginning, honestly. So it's like trying to. So then you just broaden, like getting out to more of an audience and like being somebody like, because like growing up, like the way music was so like adaptable and just like likable. It's like I feel this. Like I feel what this dude's going through. It's like, how does he know what I'm going through right now? Like I want to be able to just tell somebody else.
I remember I was little as hell. I'm listening to shit like Marvin's Room. Nigga.
For real.
I'm like,
you feel mad alone.
And like, nigga, I'm over here like about to cry and shit. I don't even know why I'm upset.
Man on the moon and shit.
No cap. No cap.
Song too, not just the album.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask you guys, from like that point, like as a kid, how has your love for music and more importantly the art developed? So for example, as a kid, I was consuming a lot of what like my pops was consuming, classic rock, like the slick rip hip hop that he liked because he was friends with like James Case and stuff like that.
Shout out
Case.
Love
Yeah.
Case.
Shout out Case.
And all that stuff. Like they went to BB King and stuff like that. So I had a lot, and he played jazz band. So I had a lot of different like aspects. But like when 2009 hit, Man on the Moon comes out, Mac Miller's coming into the game. I fell in love with hip hop.
Wiz Khalifa on the same
Right.
time.
That's what I'm saying. So I fell in love with hip hop, and through middle school and high school, that's really all I was exploring. I was like, I didn't really have all this as a kid, and then now I'm back to where I'm in between like 5 different genres. I'm mainly still listening to hip hop, but I'll listen to jazz, funk, classical, and classic rock for sure. And that's my 5 pillars right now of music.
That's
you know?
excellent.
But then the same thing in movies, where it's like I went from just watching like the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all the old westerns and like the Ennio scored films and all that stuff. And then you grow up, I started watching the Powers, the Breaking Bads, all the mob movies and stuff like that. And then it all comes piling back, and it's like, there's a whole new revamp.
Yeah, you go through like these eras with it, I feel like.
And then you can, it's really nice when you can go through the eras and you come back to a point where it's like, I still like everything.
Nah, no doubt.
Because I hate when people are like, I really used to love that, but like, I don't like it anymore. It's like, it's making you cringe. Like, dude, you used to love it.
Nah, real
So that was your life. Like,
like
dude,
that just
be comfortable with yourself.
it like brings you back to that kid. So it's like, you may not think, oh, like, why did I like this? Because you were a kid. Like that made that's what you loved about it. Like that's why a lot of like childhood movies are so like reminiscent, because it's like it may not have been the greatest
songs
film.
Too.
Yeah,
you find songs and you're like, I know if someone heard me listen to this, they'd be like, why are you listening?
Like, what are you
like
doing?
This shit's
fire.
fire.
Son.
Like CeeLo came on the other day. It was
Shout out to
Fuck
CeeLo.
You, and I was like, this song is great. Yeah. I was like, I'm vibing to this. I don't care. I love him on Loaded Bases. I love CeeLo. He's hilarious. And I was like, let's leave him on. Let's go through all
the throwbacks are essential, because it's just like music is timeless. So they can like hearing songs from like forever ago. It's like, damn, they're talking about some real life problems like right now.
Right.
Whether it's like society or like personal. It's like,
I feel like music's just like a ethereal ass experience type shit, because you could really be taken back into time by that shit, bro. Like, I'd be listening to certain albums, bro, and I'm like, I can remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, how I was feeling. You feel me? Like, I remember like first time, like I remember when Yeezus came out. I know it's like a crazy ass album, and like it was just so like extreme. Production sounds like a movie score. Kanye was off his rocker. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I don't know, bro. And I remember listening to that shit every morning.
That was MW3 time period. I remember that exactly.
Every morning waking up at 7 a.m. you hop on the game with gang. You feel me?
Like, you have that playing in
and
the
I had that shit playing in the background.
Headphones.
Yep, exactly.
Of course.
It's just certain albums take you back to certain times, and
What would you guys say was like a starting one that has like recently come back to you? Like something something that's timeless to you, where it's like, for me, like whenever I need it, I can go to Man on the Moon, 1999.
Mine is
or like now, Paranoia, or even like Straight Outta Harlem and stuff like those are those 3 artists. Like whenever I need them, I got them. That's East, Joey, and Cudi. Those are my top 3 for sure.
I honestly, Old Drizzy, like I know that's kind of like Take Care and shit like that.
Take Care is fire,
because that was the first album I ever bought, like with my own money and type shit.
That's exactly.
I had done chores and shit like that. I got a little allowance type shit, and I was on iTunes. I was like, let me see this popping real quick. Let me splurge. I bought that shit, and like I don't know, man. Like,
what are your favorites on that album?
Lord knows.
Oh,
that Just Blaze is a demon. Just Blaze.
That's literally.
Shout out to Just Blaze.
When I click on a Drake album, Lord Knows goes first.
Yo, no cap. It sets the tone.
That song goes first. Because Rick Ross, he kills that shit too.
Nah, Rick.
He just sets that tone.
Rose.
Because it's like, because when you hear Rick Ross, you feel like you're on some bullshit. You're just like, all right, it just boosts your confidence a little bit more. So you're just like, all right, I'm gonna get it right. Because then you just go to the other ones that hit. But now, Lord Knows is definitely on one of my top 5 Drake songs of all time.
Yeah. What else on that album? Obviously, like Headlines, Shot for Me, like.
Headlines was timeless.
What is it?
I remember sitting in 6th grade English with Jason, and we were bumping that.
Oh, Wu-Tang Forever was a song that always hits for me too.
That's right. I think.
Ooh, Connect.
That's
Connect.
Yeah.
Connect.
On,
I think to go off of
isn't that on that album too?
your earlier Kanye talking about you, I think Graduation for me is like, it's like that pillar. Like all of his earliest,
Oof.
projects were pillars for me. But like that one, like that was the most recent of like, all right, he's out now, but like obviously I'm older, so I could understand the music better. And then I obviously dove back into the music later when I had access, because we didn't have all the music at our hands, so it was like wasn't always thinking about that. So when that came out and everything, and also just like I haven't listened to this as recent, but just like the Blueprint 3 is like that's like the cornerstone of hip hop for me. Like main like I was in for like my personal like of hearing it and knowing like understanding like, oh shoot, like, this is what rap is like,
and also
my
like,
generation,
and also
like,
being put on by our dad. It was
Right.
like, yo, this has to be some shit. You
Right.
grew up in an era of rap in the Bronx in the '80s where it was
Sheesh.
like that's hip hop culture was there. He was in it. You know what I mean?
That's the
Right.
pinnacle. That's
So
like the
it
essence
was
of
like,
that
yeah,
shit,
you
feel
were
me?
you were there, you were around, you were listening. So that's how we were introduced to music. So when getting put on to shit like that, Blueprint 3 is always something like, yeah, I'll go
Right.
back to that shit whenever I want. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like,
and, like,
Jay-Z, Blueprint 3.
looking at the rollout, like that has like 2 of the young goats on there. It has a young Drake and a young J. Cole. Like probably like
And a
not-
very young Cudi also.
Right.
Extremely young country.
and not even like they're all within like close proximity of like just like song lists in there, and it's like hearing that back to back. It's like what as in you're hearing these dudes on this, like it's crazy, and like that's before they felt like they were on. So that's them trying to like, all right, I got my feature on Jay-Z, like I gotta show out, and like that's how like you're gonna see Jahbody SammyOffTheWall next to Drake and J. Cole, and you're gonna be like, oh word, I remember these dudes from back in Nyack, and now these dudes are doing whatever they're doing because of this music is timeless, and it's
Right.
like we know that like what we're doing here is what our life is, and like I don't know, like there's no like ceiling. I feel like
That's why I like signing to a label. That's also like honestly, I feel like you see a lot of the phony shit happening with labels now. It's always been really evident, but now there's like real facts and files coming out and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then also we have access to so much information. We have so much access to so much information now. You feel me? And now it's really about like I feel like again, like going back to like earlier, I was talking about how like having these like resources and these people in different spots to where you can outsource them and like y'all work like a team. You feel me? Like everybody play their role and everybody get into the positions they need to get into, and then you know what I mean, we can use each other to come up. You feel me? Like, I don't know. And like the labels, they hide a lot of information from you. Like really, you're like an ignorant artist, but like this is your empire. This is what you're building. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you want to treat it with care, and you want to like understand everything
your
that's
own
happening.
world.
You feel me?
You can't have anyone else run your own
Exactly.
world. You're gonna be an artist. See, that's the thing. Like that's the difference between a lot of people that are making music. There, a lot of people can make music. Anybody can make music. You could make a song on your phone. There's an app
It
you
comes
can
very
download.
naturally. It's frequency. It's like you know what I
Right.
mean?
And it's like, but within like, I feel like to make your own music, you're creating your own world, and that's why I feel like everyone in this room loves Cudi a lot, because you are in his world. You know like you feel like you can look up and you can see everything that he's feeling. Like
Right.
You're sitting on the moon. You're looking into this
Right.
like the space.
like
on the dark
he's
side.
taken your
Looking
hand and brought you on a trip for his own in his own world, and he's kept you within his own discography of that same ride. Like all his new stuff, it still feels like you're on that same roller coaster ride.
Right.
It's like what the fuck? Like, I thought this phase of it was ending, but his artistry is just so amazing and everything. It's like I want to be able to like bring you into a world. It's like if I never loved labels. I never will. Never. You having someone else like control your own world, like when you can drop. Like no one's gonna tell me when my roller coaster is gonna start.
Right.
Like I'm the conductor. like, conductor, we have a problem. That's probably them talking to the record labels. That's why they're doing the independent. That might, West Side, if that's what you're doing over there, let me know. Let me get a feature for that. But like, conductor, we have a problem. That's how I would feel if someone trying to tell me, oh, nah, you gotta wait like another like 6 months to drop. It's like, nah, I'm ready right now. Yeah. It's like, and right now, like, tonight I'm probably gonna upload Cancel On Me to distribution because I'm trying to get that out before the new year. Facts. But like, I feel like you gotta control your own world. If you have somebody else like holding your world in their hands, it's like, I feel like you're already giving up. Like, you not saying that you don't fully believe within yourself, but it's like you don't feel like you can do it. Or it might just be at a point where it's too much. Yeah. And if it's at that point, then it's like, all right, shout out to you. But like, I feel like you still try and control like your own world. I don't know. I feel like that's all artistry is. Like,
I also feel like, even with label situations though, I feel like it's about building to the point where like you can like use them as a resource, like having your like, you know what I mean, like
you can use it as a leverage tool.
Yeah,
like you can partnership.
Like, that's why niggas like 21. That's why 21 Savage owns his masters, bro. Like, he put out a platinum album before he was ever signed, and that's because he knew. Fine. You know, ATL has. I love ATL because it's very like, they don't be beefing like that. It's man connected.
Sorry about that.
No, you good, gang.
I mean, I could argue they could be beefing,
but like.
But essentially, no. I know
you know niggas from different spots.
Not facts. Like, it's
and
all.
He was able to get on with niggas like Metro and shit like that
Mecca.
way early.
Right
you feel me?
Honestly, like then, I think you said it. You were saying it a few like we were talking about this like probably like a year ago. We were talking about just like ATL is like ultimate like mecca of hip hop right now. I remember you saying you were gonna try and go down there, but like I feel like we could try and go get a session somewhere and just meet somebody.
And then he's bound to run into niggas.
Right.
Hit this one too. Now, I want to start diving in and chopping up your careers and start letting everyone know. But I also want to pick your brain on it. So, you started performing at the coffee house in high school, correct?
Yeah. So I could rebuttal that. My first ever performance was for my family. Shout out to Theo Bobby. Pray for Puerto Rico was a fundraiser down in Maryland that was run. I was a sophomore in high school, so that was forever ago. Well over 4 years, I feel like now. But that was the first time I ever got on a stage. I didn't have a song out. It's the first song I ever wrote, like fully wrote. But yeah, that was the first time I ever was on a stage. But Coffee House was like when I was like my first full like following acts because there was a number of them.
Yeah.
That was shout out to the high school for that. That's really cool. Looking back, I'm very thankful for that platform to be able to like perform at my high school and like have a whole crowd there.
Yeah, like you hear stories and even like Chance when he's performed at his high school and stuff, and like you see movies and stuff, and it's like our school gave people the opportunity, and it wasn't only rappers; it was people play the piano, violin,
any type of art,
art.
Was great.
So it was
stand up comedy. Shout out to Emmett.
Yeah,
stand up comedy. That was fire. It just shows how much, like we were saying about Nyack, like there's so much artistry. Like that coffee house was just a little like safe haven for like upcoming like creatives. But that was the first coffee houses were the first performances. After the second coffee house I did, it was the end of my junior year. The one in the winter time. I think it got me. There was this lady in the crowd. She was running like it was a veterans like a fundraiser or something down in Piermont. Turning Point. That's what it was. A little bar. Mm-hmm. But she was trying to get young artists from the high school to perform. So then I got another opportunity to go out there, and then perform. I think the fall coffee house senior year, and then everything else after COVID. I think I might have did 2 senior year, and then the last one got shut down. But then, so coffee house was my first like time on stages, and I performed at your graduation party. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I forgot about that for a little while, but anytime I could get on stage, I was trying to be out there.
You also had 4, I believe, this year between the Purgatory events, SOBs, and the Bronx Native, right?
Yeah, the Bronx Native was more so. That was like a little one
right.
One stop, but shout out to you and your parents for the hospitality. I was
Oh, actually 5. I
you
forgot.
were
I'm sorry.
the kickoff to what I believe was a little tour run I went on this year.
Okay.
So this
I appreciate
was
that.
this was the. It's only fitting that this is.
That was fun.
This was the kickoff.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
That was a hard day though. I literally was
stressed.
done working and you guys were set up and I was like, oh wow. I was working on the plants for the outdoor season, so I was like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
That was
Didn't even get
that
the
was a
shower.
But yeah, that was I had that, and then the Bronx Native quickly after, and then
Right.
shout out to Ten Heads, Stephen Locke
Shout
and
out Bashi.
Bashi.
Yep.
Getting opportunities with this new little media company. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a few this year. It was at Purgatory, a couple at Purgatory, and before the Purgatory show, I was able to get on to SOBs, Sounds of Brazil down in Merrick Street.
How was it performing on like a legendary venue where all the up and coming artists seem to go? You know what I mean? You look up their venue and it's all the big artists from all the salseros, you know what I mean? The Founding All Stars.
Yeah.
To even the rappers, J. Cole, all the young heads when they were
Kendrick.
coming up, Kendrick. So, you know what I mean? You could say, you know what I mean? You were a young guy just like everybody else in their first few years you performed on SOBs.
Yeah.
So
it
how
was-
was your stage presence on there?
Compared
How'd
to
you-
like Coffee House.
Performing
How'd
in
you
front of
feel
your
up there?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Compared to like
Yeah.
your
Real time.
performing in front of your high school classmates in the
I like that.
cafeteria, like
It was like, I felt like it was like, obviously I was at the Bronx Native like earlier before, but that was like on like the side of the street. I feel like it was like the first time up on the big boy stage, and
Yeah.
obviously I was ready for the moment. You know, I'm never gonna shy from it. Shout out to Cameron. He gave me the opportunity. You know, he posted on his story about it, asking for an opening set. And later to come, like I didn't know how many people reached out, but he was like, yeah, there's a number of people that reached out, but I liked what you brought as an artist. Like you have something to say, and that's part of the artistry again. That'll like just do you good, like in the long run. Like people are gonna. It's not always about like how many people are messing with me right now. It's about like if people are really hearing what I'm saying. And so I feel like that's why I was able to get onto SOBs, and it was awesome. It was a quick 15-minute set, but it was fun. It was probably like it was.
He was dipped in butter. That
Yeah.
jacket crazy. You feel me?
Shout out to Pops for that.
Yeah.
That's the OG jacket. But yeah, it was like I just felt at home, and that's how I always feel when I'm on stage. We're like seeing it, and like growing up, like in high school, like I remember like I was watching Sway in the Morning one time, and then Taylor Bennett, Chance's younger brother, he did his 5 Fingers of Death, and then Sway was like, you could catch him at legendary SOBs later, and then so that's the first time I really heard about it, and then when I did my research, saw all the live performances.
yeah,
Knew the history of it, and then was able to get on stage. I'm just like,
it's meant to be.
right. I was like, I feel like it's a full circle moment of like, all right, that's like you heard that, you watched the interview, and it was like dug into your subconscious, so then you could later perform there. And like, as in stage presence, I feel like for those that you can see like my live is still up on my Instagram. Like, if you want to see what it was like, you can still like, there's the in person is right there. I feel like it was like a very like strong tone. Like I feel like people were like
Felt it.
they felt the presence. They knew like why I was there, who I wasn't playing no games. I feel like it was like a really good showing of like my confidence of like I'm about my business. Like like I feel like I had a pretty good showing made. Yeah, I feel like it was a good showing of who I am and like how much I'm about my business more so than just like out here just making
bars.
music for fun. Right.
Yeah.
Like or just making music for fun. Like which is not wrong, but it's like yeah, there's more
Trying to do
to it.
something.
Yeah, there's more to it than just the one song I'm putting out. It's about in 30 years when I'm looking at my 30 albums, because the pace that I'm trying to go at is 2 projects a year, whether it's some people's terms of what an album is, it's going to be at least 8 tracks. So if that's an album to you, then you got an album from me. But it may not always be what an album is.
Yeah.
Because my albums, I might drop my debut album and it's going to be like maybe like 20 songs. Could be. Or drop 2 sides. Who knows? Might give up too much information right now. But like, you know, might have to just wait and see. But, you know, music is, that's why I feel like music is beautiful, where you can bend and like reshape it to what you want to be. And like you can make like people's albums that are only like, you can, it doesn't matter, like there's no construct, there's no certain like requirement.
You redefine it.
Right.
Like you don't even have to worry about people necessarily not understanding the efforts and shit like that. Like
They don't
whatever
have
your
to.
method is,
It's not
whatever
fun.
the way expressing yourself is, you feel me? Like nigga, you're allowed to redefine that. You feel me?
And like,
I feel like that's what the shit is. You feel me? It's
Yeah.
your world.
for those
You know
that
what I mean?
like wanna that will understand it, those are the ones that will stay around with you and like are in for the ride. They got the first row seat on the roller coaster. Now when everyone wants to pack up the second ride, be like, they're up in the front taking their selfies with me, and they're like, "Oh, y'all should have been here before."
Yeah.
But like, no.
So on the other hand, Jakai, you have been in a build-up period, if
Yes,
you will, where
I have.
you've been silently building up your catalogs, confidence, and your stage presence.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could, I'm going to ask 2 questions really. If you can take us through that time period, what it's like to be in like a silent phase where you're trying to build confidence and you're building up work, but at the same time, you don't have 24/7 critique.
Yeah.
And then the other question being, what obstacles like did you face along the way? You know,
Honestly, a lot of it, initially starting off this process, like just me getting in, like I've always loved hip hop and shit like that. You feel me? And it's always just been like something that I felt like I couldn't live without. And then seeing my mans right here do it, you feel me? It allowed me to see it like, cause I never thought it was attainable. You feel me?
Yep.
It allowed me to be like, oh, there's someone that's my brother right here. You know what I mean? He's following his heart. He's doing his passion and shit like that. So I was like, okay, that inspired me to do the same. You know what I mean? But I was wrapped up in another space with like football and shit like that.
right?
And then I was like,
You were killing on the field.
That was a whole nother
Thank you.
That was
I didn't know which way I wanted to go because
You
I was
guys both
definitely-
had the lane to do both.
Yeah, I
exactly.
was gonna say
I
you
was
both
prospering
I
in
tried
this
to
lane,
do the
yeah.
other one, and then my heart was like, nah.
Exactly. Like you're prospering in one lane, but your heart's telling you to do another thing. You feel me? So like, and like, I'm just always the type of nigga where like I can't live a life unfulfilled. You feel me? So like, whatever feels right to me, that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. You feel me? And doing that though, I understand how that is perceived to the outside world. Oh, he's throwing this away. Oh, he's doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm the type of individual where like, I got love for everybody, but I can't necessarily be in that space. You know what I mean? So it was more so like finding my own path, finding confidence in my own, you know what I mean? Just my own understanding of life and what I'm doing. And, you know, life gets in the way, you know what I mean? Just relationships, motherfucking, just life. You feel me? You're growing up, especially like coming out of high school when we graduated during quarantine and shit like that. So
We were
like,
inside.
You guys had it rough a little bit there.
Exactly.
You guys had it different than anybody in history.
exactly.
coming into like,
It's
your
definitely weird being in college where you're like, oh, I could play 2 extra years, but the fact that like you two were both athletes, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna turn that down and I'm about to just pursue what I want to do. I want to see what I can do. I'm stuck inside anyway.
Exactly. And along that process, it's just like, you know, it's an experimental process. You know, you go outside, you work with certain people, you learn different things and you appreciate the camaraderie and shit like that, but it may not necessarily be, you know, your way, you feel me?
Yeah.
And then for me, it's been a process of figuring out how much of this do I genuinely want to take on my own and how much do I want to outsource and things like that. And I'm at a point now where I understand that and I'm starting to accumulate the knowledge to really make that shit come to fruition. And as far as actually the recording and making music goes, that's just something I've been doing constantly. I've gone through so many phases. You can attest to this. I've gone through so many different, you know what I mean, genres of hip hop.
Trying to find what fits you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
our
I feel
earliest
like
tracks
right now,
are
I
something
feel-
completely different.
indeed. And I feel like right now I'm in a much better space and I feel like I'm here. Genuinely.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm here.
Would you say what drove the confidence to? Because the first time you performed was at Purgatory.
It was at Purgatory
Correct.
on his set.
His set,
Yes.
and then literally the next show after, man had his own set.
Yeah.
So that's impressive enough right there.
No,
and you
listen,
killed both.
No, I appreciate
That was awesome. The way
I
you
appreciate
got up
that.
on your first set and commanded the stage and had
Yeah.
like a a good stage presence. It felt like you were connecting with the audience really
appreciate
well.
that, yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal. But would you say it was easier to get on stage knowing you had someone next to you that was like,
yes,
if we're
indeed.
going down, we're going down together?
Yeah,
Thanks.
honestly, he's been encouraging me to come perform for a long time, and
I've been trying to have this happen. Like I said, I was like, this feels like I'm dreaming. Like when we performed God's Presence, I was like, bro, this is like, I'm in a lucid dream right now. Like I never thought I'd perform that song.
It was really cool, and being up there to be able to film it with you guys was that was really
definitely a
great.
moment.
It's like a
Especially
dream.
niggas gonna look back on that shit and be like, yo, that was something right there. Man.
There was definitely like an energy
foundation, bro.
between
Yeah,
you
that's
two,
right.
and
That's the
the way,
quality.
like I said, you guys commanded that crowd, the both of you. Like you guys created an energy in that room.
And you demanded
That was
more.
the-
You
that was the
demanded
first
the one. Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah, being on the stage though, like for my first performance, like it felt really natural, all honesty. But it definitely having Antonio there with me, you feel me? It alleviated some of the pressure, you feel me? And yeah, I felt like I delivered it, and most importantly, I had fun. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I really enjoyed myself up there. It was definitely a moment, and it was fire. The second performance at Purgatory, I had my own set because I dropped the project November 11th called Tetragrammaton. 7-song EP, and all produced by my man Keyshawn. He's a demon. He been in the lab too. You feel me? He gonna come out the woodworks very soon.
We'll get him on
But
soon.
yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, that was just essentially me. That project was basically over the summer. We had put together the funds to build a home studio, and so basically just me being in the studio, just me and Key, like learning how to record, learning how to mix and master. You know what I mean? You can listen to the project; it sounds very raw. Like I feel like talent and shit is there, but it's like it's a lot of technical issues and things like that that didn't need to be worked out. But essentially, it was us just having fun on the project. And yeah, got to perform that, and that was really fun. Like it felt like a nigga had the stage to himself. You feel me? And like I could really like express express myself to the fullest degree. You feel me?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And no, it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show for sure.
That's great. Yeah, it was definitely fun watching.
I was hyped as fuck in the crowd.
Nah.
I was turned.
Nah, yo, I got the recordings and shit like that. I need to get the
Oh,
footage from you guys,
we
because
have
Damien
footage.
took some footage as well.
So we've seen your growth on stage. Take us through like your growth, like with the pen. Your first project, it was said to be called Liftoff, but then you kind of worked it a little bit. Probably writing style changed. Your thought ideas for that project changed. Now you're gonna go into the Tears of Glory. Take us through this whole like writing style change, if there was any, or how you just developed throughout this little short time.
So, Liftoff was the first, like that was like the first project we dropped, and that was awesome. That was like a little cool time in memory. Like dropping that first project to get my feet wet with the music, and then like I had said in the end of that, gonna drop Hidden Hills. That was gonna be my next project.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that was, life is funny. You say one thing, and then later on, you completely wipe that away. I've done that multiple times within projects, but it's just embodying
That's
what's
like part of the process,
right.
bro.
It just means that you really care about what you're about to put out. You're not just gonna put it out because you said it.
Right.
But starting from then, I feel like I've had to, within like me continuously trying to just like release and constantly trying to like keep putting out, because I've had this mindset. Well, now I've tried to develop a mindset of where it's like everything doesn't always have to come out, but if like if I feel like my heart is like in that story, like way too much, not even like way too much, it's like way too much to not release or get to the world, it's like I'm doing myself a disservice.
No, for sure.
And like I still feel about that within verses that I have not dropped. Joe White, I'm gonna release
Shout out gang. Yo.
I will release that song for my pops. I'm blanking on the name right now. Wish You Well. That's what it is. I will drop Wish You Well.
Listen, I'm blanking on the name. That's just how you know there's a lot in production.
That's how you know that's an old track. I wrote that like it was like 2020.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's an old track, but it's still like. But then when I listened to it, I was like, "That's timeless music. That's what timeless music is." So like, I feel like, and that's cool to look back on because I also like I feel like there's been a lot of growth within what I'm doing. Like I obviously feel like I had wrote a verse that's going to be on the Tear to Glory. It was the Natural Disasters verse that I wrote. It wasn't initially for that song. I had wrote that after not writing for like 2 months probably.
Oh wow!
And then I was like, "Fuck, this is my best verse." I was like, "This isn't gonna go on my project." I was like, "Hold on." I was like, "I feel a certain type of way."
That's fine.
And then, God works the way He does, and later on it's on my project, and then I like the beat that it's on just feels, you just feel the soul in it.
Yeah.
And talking about that, like, I don't know, it like that's the fun part about it. It's like I could feel like I'm in such a different body of work and like within my own artistry and talent of like writing and like my development of like song structure, like just like what I'm talking about within the songs and like how I'm developing the stories. I feel like there's been like a lot of growth, and I feel like I'm still like I dropped the foundation because I felt like, all right, this is like the base
To what's coming next.
Yeah, this is like I feel like that's at least the base layer, but like I still feel like I'm like still on that foundation base. Like I'm still just laying that. Like a foundation isn't just one layer.
No, for sure.
So it's like everything after that is still essentially a part of that. So I don't know. I feel like this year is gonna be crazy. Tear to Glory, and like it's crazy how timeless music it will really show, and like I feel like it'll really be for me because projects that I'll drop in like a year plus, like at 2023, like that'll be something that was worked on in the beginning of 2022.
Yeah.
Like Stoned on the Wall with Griffin Stone. It's gonna release next year.
Shout out Griff, man.
Right, shout out to that boy.
Okay.
It's gonna be something that was worked on this whole entire year. So 2022 was working on even like a lot of
Previous
the chunk. But even like we're probably like 20% done with it, and we have like I don't know how many songs. But like it's just about like putting it together. It's like it'll show like damn, like this you wrote this before your like last project, but it's like it just all goes within. It just shows like the world. Like I want you to look within like a little snow globe and be able to like you can shake it up and it'll like swivel around and it might not like all like add up, but it's all in the same home. Like that's all my world.
Right.
That's how I feel.
That's what's up.
I just made that analogy because of Christmas.
It sounds perfect though.
Right.
You got me.
That was good. But let's get to the last question for both of you guys.
What's up?
Because we're on our last camera battery.
Oh, what's
And I
up?
don't know how long we have left before
Yeah.
we're going to overheat. So, zooming back out and talking about the year, just like the bigger picture in general. What does, for each of you, what's coming up? And more importantly, actually, we wanted to let you, we talked about it a little bit with you, but we wanted to ask both of you
Yes.
if you wanted each your own music videos and then possibly one together this year. We'll start working on those in the first quarter of 2023 with you guys.
Yeah.
We thought it'd be cool to
Yeah.
kind of capture that
We're
live.
collective. We gotta
Green
that
light.
jump in.
Green
So
light.
what
I'm actually
collection-
I'm working on another music video right now with Damien right now.
That's
Perfect.
dope.
Yes.
So that's even
So-
better. See, it's more
Well,
content.
Coming very, very soon.
More
Yeah.
845 creators.
Yes,
Damien's
yes.
a great editor.
Yo, Damien,
And,
Damien is a demon. Damien is very intelligent.
cinematographer.
He's,
There we
he's,
go.
bro, he's locked in.
Man
Like,
of the
seeing his growth and his
Facts.
artistry as well
Right.
has been ridiculous, man. Like I remember when he first started and just like how much he's improved and also just like his mindset about it. He's locked in. You know what I mean?
For
Shout
sure.
out to Damien. That's my brother.
For sure.
Real talk.
But
Great,
so
man.
what do we have music wise though coming this year? Do we have
Music-
EPs, live shows, merch, anything?
I have a plethora of music on the way. I have
Yes,
a plethora
sir.
of music on the way.
Okay.
I wanna get some singles out for y'all very, very soon. I'm in the lab. I'm in the lab.
Okay.
Trust me.
That sounds good.
Facts. I feel like that too. But what's it called? All right. Cancel on Me, dropping before this year ends, putting that into distribution then this weekend. It's gonna be out last Friday of the year. I'm calling it right now. I'm stamping it. You guys heard it here first. Worldwide announcement. You probably be out afterwards. But Cancel on Me, my next single. After that, we got the Tear to Glory project. I just call them projects. I don't like to put a label of it's an EP or album. It's a project to me. Whatever. I'm aiming for February. If it's pushed to March, I'm trying to get a single before song Honey that I performed at Purgatory. I'm gonna try and release that as the second single rollout for the project.
Right.
So then we'll have the two singles, Cancel on Me and then Honey. Cancel on Me this month at the end of the next 2 weeks. Honey either in January or early February, and then Tear to Glory, the little project. I think it's going to be 8 songs, and then I got a lot of other shit in the vault that I need to like clean up and like touch up. But I'm trying to
like how you said the vault. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Nice
get like 3 projects out this year. Like Tear to Glory has been in the works. It's called Tier 222 Glory because a lot of the beats that I started the production on, I made, it was like February 22nd. So all of my music is like a lot of older stuff that I'm just like developing and getting out. And it's like, sometimes it's a hassle. Like sometimes I feel like I like may want to leave it, but it's part of where it's like that world needs to be shown.
Yeah.
Or else like my whole artistry won't make sense. So Tear to Glory, I have another project, Fuera de la Pared, Off the Wall. Don't know if it'll be an album yet, but I want that to be the last part to what I had hopes of trilogy projects, the Foundation, Tear to Glory, and then Off the Wall as the final. But I'm trying to drop fucking once a month. I'm trying to, if it's, whether it's like a Instagram like minute plus video of a verse and a hook and doesn't fully get released, or it's like a bunch of snippets for a single or something like that, or snippets for later projects. I'm about to just keep doing. I'm about to do that because
as much stuff as possible.
Because
he's
it's
in
like,
the lab,
right?
He's
Because
in the lab.
because like this past year has been a lot of just construction work, like just in there like daily and just seeing that 1%, and like I'm ready to show that 1% each day for everybody. So
For sure.
we started working on something, and we had like we performed at the first Purgatory, and it's like, golly, like that's the intro for our project, and like the rest of the project needs to get worked on.
Shit getting spooky, son.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of, I want to get some merch. Got some shirts we're gonna get up to the website and everything out to people. Just trying to get as much items that'll be personable. So that'll just make you remember who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it. Now we're not gonna stop doing it because it's our life. Like if you want to mess with a real artist that's doing it, if you want to show your family someone that's cool, like and doing something for what they love, and it's like, yo, like it's not like all these other people.
You don't
like,
gotta be worried playing it around the house.
right? Or it's like
I can't relate.
nah, because
relate.
also
That's fire though.
because that's what I was trying to get to my comment sentence. You can worry, but just know that it's genuine music. You can worry about the language, but just know that it's genuine music. You don't gotta worry about it not being some phony music. It's some real music. Your ears gonna worry. You know what I'm saying? It's alright. It means that we really love it. But like, a lot of music, a lot of shit. Web Collective. This year's gonna really show like the groundwork of this brand, and we're gonna show you like. I kept it quiet.
Web Collective 2023, man.
Right. I feel like I kept it quiet subconsciously, maybe for a reason. So y'all gonna see what we're about. We're gonna show you, take you into our lives, trying to get you some more personal content. Just see our face more. So stay locked in with us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of also, I'm not gonna give up too much information, but we got looking for performance in February. Not my regular vibes. That's what I'm gonna say for right now. But we got a lot of.
It's coming a little different.
Right, it's coming a little different.
Okay. Interesting.
Come suited and booted, booted up. Come with your shorties if you want. Show a nice night. But
Might
we're gonna be
steal.
live.
Let me
We're
see.
gonna be live. Feature name that got me on this set's gonna be announced soon. So shout out to everybody behind the scenes for this.
All right. Well, we are definitely looking forward to seeing what both of you have in store. Thank you for sitting down with us today, for sure.
It's all love.
And we'd love to have you guys back on the channel. Not just interviews, but whatever you guys want to come in and be a part of, for sure, would be great.
No, for sure.
Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a like and check the description for Sammy Off the Wall and Jahbody's links. They'll all be there to their Instagrams, all their music, anything that they have linked will be there. Also, leave a comment, what you enjoyed, any questions for them. And if you're doing anything and you need to promote it, come on, let's do an interview. Maybe you're doing something interesting. You just have an interesting life story, whatever. Let's come, smoke, chop it up, try some of the homegrowns, and let's have a good time for sure. But be sure also to subscribe and check out the outdoor season recap video. It is live now, and next week we have the indoor season recap coming out before we bring back Way of the Root in the new year. But on behalf of Jahbody, Sammy Off the Wall, and Diego, my name is Hayden. Thank you for watching the Tribe channel. We'll catch you in the next one.